Welcome here to Shy Sports Live. We have game two of this three-game set between your Chicago Cubs and the New York Mets. The Cubs dropping game one of this three-game set after blowing a 6-1 lead against the Mets last night. Mets put up eight runs to one over Chicago after the second inning. And the Mets ultimately won 9-7 on the game-winning home run by Mr. Francisco Alvarez. And that was the difference of that game. But let's get ready for this game. Let's start it off by taking a look at some starting lineups. First for the Mets. In the batting order, first for three hitters, Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, and Pete Alonso. The 4-6 hitters, Starling Marte, Mark Vientos, and Brandon Nimmo, and then the 7-9 hitters, Francisco Alvarez, Jeff McNeil, and Tyrone Taylor. For the Cubs defensively, left to right field, Ian Happ, Pete Armstrong, and Seiya Suzuki. Third to first, Matt Shaw, Dansby Swanson, Nico Horner, and Michael Busch. And catching is Carson Kelly with Matthew Boyd on the mound for the Cubs. Those are your starting lineups. We're almost set for first pitch here at Wrigley Field on ESPN Wednesday Night Baseball. We'll be back into this for first pitch on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back to Shy Sports Live. We are almost set for first pitch here in Wrigley Field as the Cubs are taking on the New York Mets. Game two of this three-game set. Excited for this game. And, of course, for the Cubs, they still have to clinch that top wildcard spot. And for the Padres, they're not making it easy on the Cubs. Padres continue to win. Cubs continue to lose. Lost their fifth straight game in last night. So the Cubs are trying to break this losing streak and get in the win column and pick up their 89th win of the season. They have one more against the Mets. That's tomorrow. And then a three-game set against the Cardinals to round up their final series of the season. And for the Cardinals, they still technically have a playoff potential race. So we'll see if that's what we'll see how they're playing when coming into Chicago at that time. Anyways, we're almost set for first pitch. Bit of a delay here for the first pitch, but Cubs looking for one more win, and for the Reds, it really is a big game for them against Pittsburgh. It is currently 2-0 Pirates. They're in the bottom of the sixth inning in that game. Now, Padres played against the Brewers today. And for the Brewers, it was a good win for them. So that Cubs magic number goes down one more. Right there. And then if the Cubs win tonight, then that'll put them up 2 games on top of the Padres with 4 games to play. The Yankees, they walked off the White Sox last night, and they're currently up 3-1, and they're in the bottom of the third in that game. Aaron Judge just hit his 50th home run of the season. We're almost set for baseball. As the Cubs taking on the Mets on Wrigley Field. Game two of this 3-game set. We're almost ready for first pitch here on Shy Sports Live. Again, the lineup for the Mets, just to go over through it one more time: Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Marte, Vientos, Nimmo, Alvarez, McNeil, and Tyrone Taylor rounding out the final 9. Cubs currently come in +7 on the wildcard race. That doesn't matter. But they're also, at this point in time, a game ahead of the Padres on that top wildcard spot. Matthew Boyd will be on the mound for the Cubs. 30 games, 3.20 ERA. His ERA is starting to go up. It's been a disappointing second half, but we are ready. And the first pitch from Boyd is a fly ball to right field. That's out of play for strike 1. But it was a solo home run for Francisco Lindor off Cade Horton last night to get the game going. See what he does tonight. Boyd will come set. The 0-1. Shows Bond pitches a curveball up and away for ball 1. 1-1 now. That's third in the wild card race. Remember, the Reds had the tiebreaker with them. Here's the 1-1 from Boyd. I'll have to play with a changeup 2-1 now. Remember, the Reds had the tiebreaker, so if the Reds do win and the Cubs beat the Mets, and the Reds will reclaim sole possession at third wildcard spot. There's a nice changeup swing and a miss, strike 2 now on Francisco Lindor. And in the career for Lindor against Boyd, he's 13 for 36. Does have a couple home runs, as he'll take time out. Two balls, 2 strikes. Just getting started here in Wrigley Field. And a cool night by the lake. Here's the 2-2. Fouled out of play. Bat will continue. So, by Cade Horton, he left the game last night due to back tightness after a third inning of work. Here's the 2-2. Another foul ball off the screen. Bit of a long battle to start this game. Juan Soto's on deck for the Mets. 42 home runs on the season for him. So here's the 2-2 from Boyd. Popped up. Right side, foul territory. Bush will camp under it and will make the catch for the first down. So that's how we get started tonight. A foul, pop-out foul. So I bring a Juan Soto. Had a pretty good game last night. Had a couple hits. But did not play good defense out in the outfield. Especially on that Carlos Santana 2-run double. Here's the first pitch to Soto. Fastball at the play for ball 1, 1-0 now. Cubs and Mets tied at nothing. Just getting underway. A 9.32 OPS for Soto. There's a strike 1-1 now. One on one Soto. Here's the pitch. Ground ball rolled over towards second. Horner's going to grab it. He'll flip to first in time for the second out. 2 outs in the inning. For the Mets, that'll bring up Pete Alonso. Front door curveball that Soto was early on. So Alonso can hit the ball at the ballpark. Best of any of them. There's a first pitch curveball and a strike to Alonso. 0-1 now. Cubs trying to win their 89th game of the season. Here's the 0-1. Popped up, that's out of play. 0-2 now on Alonso. A lot of good races going on in the MLB this week. Guardians currently on tap 2-1 over the Tigers. They just played their third inning of play there. Here's the 0-2. Foul ball again off the screen. 13 pitches for Boyd in this game already. Yankees, by the way, added on another run over the White Sox. And the Red Sox are currently beating the Blue Jays right now. As here is the 0-2. Swing and a miss, good changeup, strike 3. Let's go down to number 1, 2, 3. What's at the bottom of the first? Scoreless in Game 2 on Tri Sports Live. Welcome back here to Tri Sports Live. Bottom of the first, Cubs and Mets tied at nothing. Take a look at the lineup for the Chicago Cubs. Michael Busch is leading off. Nico Hoerner hitting second. Ian Happ hitting third. Moises Ballesteros hitting fourth. Seiya Suzuki hitting fifth. Carson Kelly hitting sixth. Pete Armstrong hitting seventh. Nancy Swanson hitting eighth. And Matt Shaw hitting ninth. The defense for the Mets. First left to right field, Nimmo, Taylor, and Soto. Third to first, Vientos, Lindor, McNeil, and Alonso. Francisco Alvarez, Kachimana played. And Jonah Tong, the youngster, the rookie, on the mound, making another start for the Mets as Michael Busch will step in. Tong will come set, and he will deliver the first pitch. That's a fastball to play for ball 1. Jonah, 5.94 ERA in 4 starts. So here is the 1-0. Fastball on the knees. That's a strike. 1-1 now. DJ Rayburn is our home plate umpire tonight. Tong will come set. Here's the 1-1. Fastball right down the middle for a strike. 1-2 now. Busch, only Cubs player in the offensively with 30 home runs on the season, has an 827 OPS. For Tong, he's only 20 years old, made his MLB debut back in August 29th. So here is the 1-2. That's slowing away. It's 2-2 now. 254 average for Busch. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Tong will come set. Here's the pitch. Line drive, right field towards the gap. This is going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Bounces off the ivy. Bush is going to have a leadoff double to start this game. That's what you like to see for the Cubs tonight. You know, they struck for 5 runs in the first 2 innings, and last time off of David Peterson. I know he's a rookie and he's just trying to get acclimated, but you'd love to see the Cubs hit the ball hard tonight off of Jonah Tong. A leadoff double, another man who's been hitting the ball well. Nico Hoerner had a good game last night, had a good series in Cincinnati. Hitting .302 on the season now. First pitch to Hoerner is a pop fly out of play for strike 1. So Nico is hitting .302 on the season. 6 home runs, 60 RBIs, an OPS of 747. He's always playing second base for the Cubs tonight. Takes his routine timeout after picking up a strike. Step back into the box. 0-1 count. And the pitch from Tong. Curveball, that misses low at 77. It's 1-1 now. Cubs trying to get that magic number ever so closer to getting a top wild card spot. On 1 check swing, they appeal to first. Say does not go. It's a ball in the dirt. It's 2-1 now. Nico. Nico third in the American League with runners in scoring position at .370. Jacob Wilson and Bo Bichette hitting better than him. The 2-1, that's a nice changeup on the outer third for a strike. 2-2 now on Hoerner. So 3-0-2 on 2-2 on Nico. Tong will come set. The pitch. Another changeup that was painted, but Rayburn does not give it. It's full now. That was a good pitch from Jonah Tong. Just rolled a ball. Here's a 3-2. Blown away. That's ball 4. First 2 Cubs hitters have reached on a double and a walk. I'm right being Happ. So a good start for the Cubs offense. Reminder, there's 27 outs that you need to get to win the game. And for the Cubs, they were unable to get all 27 outs last night with the lead. But for Tong, in a bit of a jam here. He's already thrown 11 pitches and has yet to record an out. Although the Cubs like hitting the double plays in these types of situations. First pitch from Tong. Changeup right there for a strike, 0-1. It's probably not where Jonah wants that pitch to go. It was a changeup right down the middle, and Ian was probably just taking all the way. 0-1, 23 home runs on the year for Ian, 76 RBIs. Here's the 0-1. Inside with a changeup, 1-1 now. Jonah's thrown a lot of changeups tonight. But for Ian, he has 23 home runs in the season. 7 of those 23 have come in the last 23 games. So it's a 1-1 count. But Jonah, combined double and triple A, had a 1.43 ERA. He had a heck of a year there. Tong will come set. The 1-1. That's so it's 2-1 now. 14 pitches now for Jonah Tong. Cubs have a hit and a walk in this inning so far. Been changeup, fastball in this at bat. Here's a 2-1. Inside with a changeup, it's 3-1. They check swing, appeal to third. So he did not go, so it is still 3-1. So Tong in danger of losing the first 3 hitters on a double walk on the walk. Chopper foul, and it's full now. He's only throwing changeups and fastballs. And this at bat to Happ. It's a full count, 16 pitches. Three balls, two strikes. The pitch. Ground ball hard. That's foul, though. That was fair. That probably would have scored both Cubs runs. And for Jonah Tong, it's been 3 four-seamers, 3 changeups in this first half inning. No curveballs yet in this at-bat to Happ. I don't want to throw in here. In danger of walking the bases loaded. For a lefty Ballesteros on deck. Here's a 3-2. Goes changeup again, and Happ again pulls out on the ground foul. By the way, the Mets, both teams had long bullpen, had used a lot of their bullpen. So for each team, it's going to be strategy time to figure out, especially with Tong already up to 18 pitches in the game tonight. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss, good changeup right there. That's out number 1. So after the leadoff double and a walk, Tong comes back and strikes out Ian Happ for the first out of the inning. It's a good changeup, and now to bring up Ballesteros. This is where, if you're the Cubs, need to make a play here. Get a base hit, score 1 or maybe even 2. Pick out attempt a second. Throw is not in time. Bush is back in time. That's first disengagement for Tong in the at-bats. Couple home runs and 9 RBIs for Ballesteros on his short season, a .261 average. For the youngster DH. Here's the pitch. Curveball hit up the middle, and that's past the diving glove Lindor. Bush is going to come around. The throw to the plate from Taylor is not in time. And the Cubs are taking a 1-0 lead. However, the Mets might take a look at that one. Carlos Mendoza says, hold on a second here. It was a swim move slide at the plate from Bush, and I think that allowed him to get around the tag. The replay looks like he got him. It doesn't look like he gets his oven mitt to that back of the plate on that last replay. That does look like he does get him there. So that is an excellent throw from Taylor. And a big decision here from the replay booth. That was a good tag from Alvarez. A good slide from Bush. But just could not get in there in time. So the Mets are challenging the call in the field. If that is an out, then that is going to make it runners in first and second with 2 outs. And Tong getting bailed out. He does look out there. Just a couple inches. But Bush is indeed out. Assuming the replay overturns it. So we're still trying to figure out. The runner is out. So it was an excellent throw from Taylor. There's 2 outs now, and the Cubs have not scored a run. So that'll count as a base hit, and then Bush is throwing out home. And it was just a great throw from Taylor. Excellent throw. So here's Seiya Suzuki now. Here's the pitch from Tong. Fastball right down the middle. That's a strike 0-1. So that's the second hit of the game now for the Cubs off of Tong, but they have not registered a run yet. Here's the 0-1. Changeup grounded towards third. Grabbing it is Vientos. He'll step on the bag and make the play. Cubs strand a pair. Don't score. Well to the second on Shy Sports Live. Scoreless in Chicago. Welcome back here to Chicago on Shy Sports Live. Cubs and Mets scoreless for the first inning of play. Tyrone Taylor threw out. Michael Busch at the plate to save and preserve this game, still being deadlocked at 0. Starling Marte will lead it off for the Mets here in the second inning. First pitch from Matthew Boyd is a fastball to play for ball 1. Tong did strike out a batter in that first inning. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss by Marte. It's 2-0 now. Or 1-1 now, sorry. 9 home runs, 34 RBIs on the season for Marte. Hitting 278, the 1-1. Change up at the knees. That's a strike 1 and 2 now. One ball, 2 strikes on Marte. Boyd will come set. The 1-2. Ground ball pulled towards third. Shaw back pedals, grabs it. He'll fire the first in time for the first out. So a good start for Boyd here in the second inning. No hard contact in this game yet, given up by Boyd. By the way, it's 7-1 Phillies over the Marlins. So Insta Vientos, first pitch from Boyd. Curveball out to play for ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Nice changeup, swing and a miss, 1-1 now on Vientos. Vientos, 17 home runs, 60 RBIs, a 235 average. He'll take his timeout. It's 1-1 on Vientos. Boyd will come set. Here's the 1-1. Got well up and away, 2-1 now on Vientos. Here's a 2-1. Nice changeup, swing and a miss, 2-2 now. Boyd will come set, 8 on the pitch clock. Here's the 2-2. I pop fly out of play. Two balls, two strikes, top of the second, nobody out, one out, sorry. By the way, Brandon Nimmo is warming up on deck circle with a sledgehammer. Here's a 2-2. Ground ball hit foul. That's kind of similar. I mean, it's the entire thing is heavy. A donut for the bat would do something similar, but not as heavy, most likely, for these bigger guys. For Nimmo, he had a 3-run home run last night, so maybe that helped him. Pop fly behind home plate. Kelly is not going to have a play on this one. This will get out of play in the first few seats on the front rows. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 1 out. Top of the second inning, scoreless in Chicago. Cubs, for the moment, a game and a half on top of San Diego. The result of this game tonight will really depend on what that result happens. Here's a 2-2. Check swing. He looked like he did go to appeal to first. They say he did go. That's a strikeout for Boyd. That's on number 2 in the inning. Now look at Boyd, his second strikeout of the game. Side replay does look like he did go, so that was a good call over that first. I'll bring up Brandon Nimmo. Hit that 3-run home run off of Taylor Rogers in the game last night, which was a big game tying home run. First pitch. Fastball to play, ball 1. That was lefty-lefty too. It was just a hanging curveball, and Nimmo absolutely crushed it. He has 8 home runs against lefties on the season. That's tied for most by lefty-on-lefty hitting. Here's the 1-0. That's inside with the fastball, 2-0 now. With 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. The pitch. Off the plate, it's 3-0 now. Boyd will come set. Here's the 3-0. Fastball on the outside corner. That's a strike. 3-1 now. 3 balls, 1 strikes, 2 outs. Boyd will come set. The pitch. Ground ball pulled right to Bush. Bobbles it, but he stays with it. Fires the first in time for the 3rd out. Mets get out in order 1, 2, 3 for the 2nd time tonight. Bottom of the 2nd we go on Tri Sports Live. Scoreless in Chicago. Welcome back to Chicago Insurance Sports Live. MLB wildcard games begin next Tuesday, so a week from, or less than a week. We're only 6 days away from wildcard action. Carson Kelly will step in against Jonah Tong. First pitch by Tong is a fastball for a strike to get this half inning started. There's a changeup by Tong for a strike. 0-2. Really loves that changeup. He has not located it in parts of the zone where you like to locate those changeups. They've been very hittable, but the Cubs are not really taking advantage of those changeups. Tong will come set. Here's the 0-2. Up and wave with a fastball. 1-2 now on Kelly. "17 home runs for Kelly on the season." Here's the 1-2. Changeup hit high towards center field pretty well. Taylor goes back, but he's going to camp up in front of the track for the catch for his first out of the inning. Wind is blowing in tonight, so that probably contributed to the fact that the ball didn't carry as much as I thought it was going to carry. There's one out numbering a PCA, Pete Armstrong. Tong will come set. The pitch. Late swing and a miss. Good fastball from Tong at the top of the zone for strike one. Here is the 0-1 from Tong. Nice changeup, swing and a miss, 0-2 now. In the first half for Pete, he was hitting .265, hit 25 home runs, but in the second half, he's hitting .209 with only 4 home runs. Again, he's one shy of a 30-30 season. There's a line drive, right center field, but right at Taylor for the second out. So a couple hard-hit contacts, a couple of hard-hit outs on here at the bottom of the second inning. I'll bring up Dansby Swanson now for the Cubs. Who stranded a couple runners in the bottom of the first inning. Had a leadoff double and a walk. It all went downhill there. There's a changeup at the knees of Swanson for a strike, 0-1. That was the 30th pitch of the game for Jonah. 23 home runs on the season for Dansby, .245 average. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2 now. So, for Jonah, 7 first pitch strikes. He's only faced 8 batters. Here's the 0-2. A ball out of play. Oh, no balls, 2 strikes, 32 pitches for Tong. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Here's the 0-2. That's a foul ball. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 0-2. Little flare, right center field. Taylor will come in. He will make the catch. All 3 balls in play were to Tyrone Taylor. They played through 2 here in Chicago. We're tied on Shy Sports Live. We're back to the top of the second inning on Shy Sports Live. Cubs and Mets tied at 0 for the first 2 innings of play. Top of the third, sorry. For the Mets, they've had a pretty shaky last month in baseball. Their playoff percentage is 67%. It's gone down below 50% in the past week. First pitch from Matthew Boyd, Francisco Alvarez is a strike on the inside corner. Here's the 0-1 from Boyd. Curveball, that's chopped foul, 0-2 now. That was the 10th home run of the season for Alvarez last night. And RBI's 29 and 30. A 1-2 count on Alvarez. Here's the 0-2. Change up in or slider in the dirt, no offer 2 or 1-2 now. One-two changeup, that's off the plate. It's 2-2 now. That misses inside, and it's full now on Alvarez. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Top of the third. Here's the 3-2 from Boyd. Line drive right field out of play, and we'll do it again. So, nobody out. 3-2 again. That misses inside. It's a walk for Boyd. That's a leadoff walk. First walk allowed for Matthew in the game tonight. So leadoff walk. Now bring him Jeff McNeil now. Boyd will come sets. Pickoff attempt to first. Alvarez is back in time. Barely got off. You know, Boyd has a really good pickoff move. Leads the league in pickoffs. The team does overall. Alvarez not even he's getting like a foot lead. High fly ball hit towards left center field. P.O. Camp under it on the track and make the catch for the first out. So 1 gone. By the way, the Guardians and Tigers score. It's now 3-1 Guardians. They're in the bottom of the 5th inning in that game. Guardians already have the tiebreaker over the Tigers. And with the win would go, really, they have 1 win over them in the win column, but it's really a 2-game lead at that point. First pitch to Tyrone Taylor is a curveball that misses inside for ball 1. Again, a lot of good divisional matchups still have yet to be played. Here's the 1-0. Pop up right side. Suzuki will come in. He'll make the catch for the second out. So after the leadoff walk, Boyd gets a couple outs in the outfield. That'll bring us back to the top of the lineup, where I'll bring up Francisco Lindor, who popped out on his last at bat. By the way, the Reds have scored a run on a home run. It's 2-1 Pirates in that game. It was an inside the park home run. So here's the first pitch, Lindor, backdoor curveball. That's a strike 0-1. 72 miles per hour. Boyd will come sets. The 0-1. Inside with the fastball, 1-1 now. So if the Reds do come back and win and the Mets lose, Reds will reclaim that final wild card spot. And Lindor's going to call for time. First timeout, or is only a timeout allotted to at bat. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, top of the third. Not a lot of hard hit contact in this game tonight. Here's the 1-1. Fastball right there, first strike, 1-2 now to Lindor. This will be the 45th pitch of the game for Boyd. Boyd will come set. The 1-2. Spikes a change or slider. It's 2-2 now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 1 on. Cubs and Mets just about 40 minutes into this game. Started a little late. Juan Soto's on deck. Boyd comes set. The 2-2. Line drive hit well in the left field line, but it's foul. Still 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. There's not been a changeup thrown in this sequence from Boyd. We'll see if he tries to paint one in the outside corner. The 2-2 goes with a curveball, ground ball hit weakly. Hoerner's got to charge. Fires the first. He's out, and we'll see if the Mets try and challenge that one. Carlos Mendoza says no. Mets strand 1, don't score. What's at the bottom of the third in Chicago? It's scoreless on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back to the Chicago bottom of the third on Shy Sports Live. Scoreless the first 2.5 innings. No hits for the Mets yet. Cubs have a couple hits. So here is the first pitch to Matt Shaw from Joe Natale. That's a fastball missing up for ball 1. getting us started here in the bottom of the third inning. Just a 1-0 from Tong. Fastball that catches the top of the zone, first strike, 1-1 now. Shaw has 12 home runs, 42 RBIs on the season, hitting .224. Here is the 1-1. Nice changeup from Tong. Swing and a miss, 1-2 now. Again, not really well placed, but when you're able to get those types of swings on changeups, then it's pretty good stuff for Jonah. Shaw called his timeout. Step back into the box. Here's the 1-2. Change up in the dirt, no offer. 2-2 now on Shaw. Red Sox on top over Toronto, 4-0. They're in the top of the 8th inning. Right, with a 5-game losing streak for the Cubs. Believe it or not, that's their longest streak of the season. 2-2, line drive, right center field, over the leaping glove of McNeil. That's going to be a base hit, the third of the game for the Cubs. It's a leadoff hit for Matt Shaw, and that'll bring us back to the top of the lineup. And Michael Busch, who led off the Cubs offense with a double. Shaw did not get all of that pitch, but he got enough to just muster it over the head of McNeil. Gave the Cubs their third hit of the game. McNeil was a foot too short on that leap. This will be the 40th pitch of the game for Jonah Tong. And his pickup attempt to first. Shaw's back in time. Shaw's been pretty successful in the season for stealing. He has over 20 of them. I'd imagine Alvarez and Tong know exactly what he's capable of over there on first. First pitch, fastball catches the corner. Looked a little off, but Weyburn gives the call. It's 0-1 now on Busch. To be fair, he did roll a ball on a perfect pitch from Tong in the first inning. Here's the 0-1. That's so. It's 1-1 now. 41 pitches for Tong in the game. Cubs have 3 hits in this game. And time is called. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tong will come set. And a pitch clock violation is issued on Michael Busch, I think. Yeah, it is. I actually issued it to Jonah Tong. It's 2-1 now. Ground ball pulled foul. Now it's 2-2. There's 2 balls, 2 strikes on Busch. Tong's ready. Busch is ready to 2-2. Change up blown away, or blown in. It's full now on Busch. Matt's playing a shift. I mean, Vientos is playing shortstop, basically. Here's a 3-2. That's up at the changeup. That's ball 4. Another walk issued from Tong. That's his second walk issued of the game. So Busch has a double and a walk tonight. Got a scoring update in Cincinnati. It is still 2-1 Pirates during the 9th inning in that game. As Nico Hoerner Yep, now he walked in his last plate appearance. Here's the pitch. His first slider thrown in the game for Tong. He misses out to play for ball one. 1-0 on Horner. Second inning out of 3 where the Cubs have had runners on first and second with nobody out. There's a ground ball hit through the left side hole. That's a base hit, and Shaw got held up at third. I honestly think that was a bad misread from Quinn Berry, and the Cubs, well, they'll load the bases with nobody out, but should have been a run scoring, an RBI on that play for Nico. Regardless, the bases are loaded now for Chicago. That's their 4th hit of the game off of Tong. Not only got being half of the bases loaded and nobody out. Pitching coach is talking with Jonah Tong. Now, we'll come back to bite the Cubs if they don't score in this inning, because that should have been a run scored, but Quinn Berry was a little too conservative on that play because, I mean, Nimmo does have a good arm out there. However, I'd rather try and test that arm again. I mean, he wasn't really receiving that ball really well. He was assuming the run was going to score easily. I mean, Shaw has the speed to be able to get the home. I don't understand that no send from Quinn Berry. However, I'm not the coach, so it's not my decision. First pitch, Ian Happ is a curveball missing low and in for ball one. It would help if the Cubs can get a couple runs in this inning. Happ struck out in his last at-bats. This is the second of 3 innings for Tong, having to have a heavy, stressful load manage of an inning. There's a strike. It's 1-1 now. Broadcast last night was over 3 hours, the longest for a baseball broadcast in a short span of this channel. Here's the 1-1. Ground ball pulled hard. Fair ball down the line. This is going to score a pair of Cubs, potentially a third. Bush will come in. The throw is a second. That's a 2-run double for Ian Happ, and the Cubs have taken the lead. So it does not come back to bite the Cubs for that no send from Quinn Berry. 2 runs would have scored anyways, but it's 2-0 Chicago, and that'll bring up. That ball is just fair. That'll bring up Moises Ballesteros, who's 1 for 1 tonight. He singled to center. It's 2-0 Cubs. 31st double of the season for Happ. This will be the 50th pitch of the game for Jonah Tong. Here it is. Fastball on the outside corner. That's a strike 0-1. Now look at the Cubs. Their 5th hit of the game. Still a chance of driving some more runs. Here's the 0-1 from Tong. And so with the fastball, it's 1-1 now. One ball and a strike. Here's the 1-1. That's slowing it with a changeup 2-1. Richard Lovelady is getting loose in that Mets bullpen right now. Both bullpens were taxed last night. There's a strike at an ease. It's 2-2 now on Ballesteros. Two balls, 2 strikes. 54th pitch of the game for Tong. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 3rd. The pitch. Ground ball hit towards 3rd. It gets past the diving glove of Vientos. Cubs will get a 3rd run. Happ will hold that 3rd. That's a base hit for Ballesteros, and the Cubs have taken a 3-0 lead in this game now. Still nobody out in the inning, and that's the 6th of the game for the Cubs. There's a fastball up and in, and Ballesteros just drives it the opposite way. There's a chance for Suzuki now, who's 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded into a fielder's choice in his last at bat to drive in another run. Cubs are 4-6 now. They're in scoring position now, 3 RBIs. And if it wasn't for a great throw from Tyrone Taylor in the first, it would be 4-0 Cubs. First pitch, fastball, one side, but it gets a strike call. It's 0-1 on Suzuki. It's 7-0 Red Sox there in the top of the 8th inning in Toronto. Here's the 0-1. Hard in line drive down the third base line. It's a fair ball. The Cubs will add another run. It's 4-0. Ballesteros heads to third. And to second goes Suzuki. Cubs are hitting the ball well tonight. Off of Jonah Tong. It's 4-0 Cubs. And that is going to be it for Jonah Tong. Mendoza's going to come out. Tong will depart. Lovelady will come in. It'll come back into this on Chicago. Cubs on top 4-0, and then still threatening here in the bottom of the third on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back to Shy Sports Live. Richard Lovelady on the pitch to Carson Kelly. Pops that first pitch up and out of play for strike one. So it's a short outing for Tong. Lovelady making this a 10th appearance of the season, a 9.31 ERA, 9 2/3 innings pitched, a 20% strikeout ratio. We should have final stats for Tong after this pitch. There's a foul ball. It's 0-2 now. Tong goes 2 innings, unable to record an out in the third. You have 7 hits, 4 runs, all 4 were earned, walked 2, struck out 1. And Tong is also responsible for runners on second and third, so he could be responsible for 6 earned runs tonight. The Cubs driving both runners. Here's the 0-2. It was a foul ball. So for the youngster Tong, it's been a shaky start to his career. Unfortunately, I mean, he was able to locate the changeups and fastballs, but was not really able to locate any other pitch, and he really only threw changeups and fastballs. The 0-2, Kelly swings and misses for strike 3. That's out number 1. But now for the Reds, even if they do lose, if the Mets lose, they'll still only be a game back of the Mets. So, I bring up Pete Armstrong. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He lined out to center field in his last at bat. Lovelady will come set to pitch. Sinker right there for strike 1, 0 1. 245 average for Pete on the season. Again, that home run shy of a 30-30 season. High fly ball right field. Soto will be able to make this catch. He does. Ballesteros is going to come home. The throw from Soto is not in time. That's a 5th run for the Cubs. Into the third of Suzuki. Pete is able to drive in a run. The Cubs are on top 5-0, and that's a 5th earned run charge to Jonathan. It's a 5 spot here in the third for the Cubs offense. 7 hits now in the game. And a chance here for Swanson to drive in that 6th run if he's able to reach base here. Swanson 0 for 1 tonight. He lined out to center field as well. First pitch from Lovelady is a backdoor sweeper. That's a strike on 1. Again, Pirates on top of the Reds 2-1. They're still in the top of the 9th inning in that game. A comeback win for the Reds and a loss for the Mets means the Reds had that final wildcard spot again. Check swing appeal to first. Say he did not go. It's 1-1 now. 5-1 Yankees. So the Yankees are on track to take over that division lead in the AL East. Assuming the Red Sox hang on to their 7-0 win. 1-1. Well, then it's 2-1 now. The Red Sox are also trying to make some noise in that division. Although the Yankees are well on track to sweep the White Sox. There's a foul ball off of Alvarez. He's a little shaken up, but he's okay. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the third, 5-0 Cubs. It's been a 5 spot in the inning. No home runs. Not hit any home runs in the game last night. Drove in 7 last night, none on home runs. They've driven in 5 tonight, none on home runs. They've been able to drive runs in without home runs in this series so far. But for the Mets, they relied on the home run ball last night, and it got them to win. Lovelady is ready. So is Swanson. He'll come set. The 2-2. Goes backdoor, but it's off the plate. It's full now. Mariners are red hot in that AL West race. Could clinch the division with a win tonight or an Astros loss. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Down in the third, but a 5 spot on 5 hits for Chicago in the inning. We'll head to the 4th. We'll be back into this on Shy Sports Live. 5-0 Cubs. Welcome back here to the top of the fourth. First pitch from Matthew Boyd. The Juan Soto's a strike call. Missed up, but Rayburn gave it. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's a late strike call from Rayburn. That one was well delayed. It's 0-2 now. That one also missed inside. But he gave it a strike call. 0-2 now. Cubs will take it. Bottom of the ninth in Cincinnati. Reds still down by a run. Trying to come back and win that game. If the Mets are unable to come back and win this game tonight, then Reds will take over that spot with the win. It's 1-2 now in Soto. Padres are also playing for the divisional crown in the AL or the NL West. The Dodgers are struggling a bit. The Diamondbacks beat them last night. 1-2. On a wave to that one, pops it up left side. Swanson goes out. In comes Happ. Swanson will make a call and the catch for the first out. So, good piece of fielding there for Dansby Swanson. First out on the ring of Pete Alonso, 0 for 1 tonight with a strikeout swinging. Mets are 1-28 this season when trailing by 5+ runs. That one win last night against Chicago. And they make it 2-28 tonight. We'll see. First pitch misses in and down on a curveball to Alonso for ball one. Boyd comes set. Here's the 1-0. Nice changeup, wave and a miss. 1-1 now on Alonso. Alonso's 0 for 4 in his career against Boyd, but all 4 of those at-bats being strikeouts. 1-1 fastball. That catches the outside corner for a strike. 1-2 now on Alonso. Just a 1-2. Ground ball hit towards third. Shaw will grab it. He'll turn and fire the first in time for the second out. So 2 gone, and that'll bring up Starling Marte. An update in Cincinnati. Tyler Stevenson, a hero, a home run for the Reds, tying up at 2. They're in the bottom of the ninth with 1 out. That's a huge home run for the Reds. Possibly could save their season. Marte gives this one a ride a bit, flies this one to left center field. Happ making in trouble, but he does make the catch for the third out. Mets go down in order 1-2-3. What's at the bottom of the fourth on Shy Sports Live? It's 5-0 Cubs. Welcome back into the bottom of the first. First pitch from Richard Lovelady to Matt Shaw's a strike, and it's 1-1 now. Here's the 1-1. High fly ball hit well left center field. Going back is Taylor. This ball is going to go. Matt Shaw with a line drive home run, and the Cubs are up 6-0 now. 13th home run of the year for Matt Shaw. Get a heck of a ride, 102.5 miles per hour on the exit field on a projected distance of 396 feet. There's a swing and a miss from Michael Busch. 0-1. Lovelady will come set. The 0-1. That's on away, 1-1 now. One ball and a strike. 17 pitches for Lovelady out of the pen. He's giving up a run. That's, by the way, the 8th hit of the game for the Cubs. It's the 1-1 line drive left field. It's dropping, but it is caught by a sliding and diving Brandon Nimmo for the first out. So one gone. Takes away a Michael Busch base hit, and now ring up Nico Horner, who's 1 for 1 tonight. Does a walk on a single. By the way, they're going to extra innings in Cincinnati. There's a first pitch ball to Nico Horner. It's 1-0. Reds and Pirates are going to extra innings in that game. Reds tied it up thanks to a Tyler Stevenson game-tying home run in the bottom of the 9th inning. Here's the 1-0. Gets to the top of the zone for a strike, 1-1 now. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2 now on Horner. Long outing for Lovelady. A lot of long outings last night for Mets pitching too. Here's the 1-2. That's on the dirt, 2-2 now. Two balls, two strikes, 1 out. Rumble hit hard, and what a nice timing step by Vientos. So far, the first in time for the second out. That's a great play from Mark Vientos. There's 2 outs for Happ now. And by the way, drove in a pair on an RBI on the 2-run double in his last at bat, which was in the last inning. That was a good play from Vientos, robbing Horner of another hit. Two outs. Pitch or a mound visit with Lovelady. Francisco Alvarez is talking with him. Gotta imagine the Mets are gonna be considering a mound or another pitching change soon. The Reds can win tonight. I said it a lot, but I want to keep rephrasing. It's a tight wild card race. Here's the first pitch. That's on in for ball one to Happ. This will be the 25th pitch of the outing for Lovelady out of the pen. By the way, RBI's number 76 and 78 for Happ. Here's a ground ball hit towards Lindor. He'll grab it. He'll fire the first in time for the third out. Cubs had a run, though, thanks to a Matt Shaw home run. 1 to the 5th in Chicago. 6-0 Cubs on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back here to Chicago on Side Sports Live. The Pittsburgh Pirates have taken a 3-2 lead over the Cincinnati Reds, courtesy of a Jack Swinsky RBI double in extra innings. It's 3-2. Pirates one out top of the 10th inning in that game. As there's a ball to Vientos. Here's the 1-0. That's off the plate, 2-0 now on Vientos. Vientos struck out on his last at bat. Here's the 2-0 from Boyd. Change up in the other third. That's a strike, 2-1. So the Reds, even with the Mets even with both losses, here's a 2-1. Harder ground ball. Oh, that had an awkward hop. Gets past Shaw. And that looks like that's going to be the first hit of the game for the Mets. 100 miles per hour exit field. That ball was smoked. Should be a single unless I saw differently. Yeah, that was an awkward hop. That should be a single. We got Brandon Nimmo. First pitch to him. Over curve. That's a strike on 1. So that's the first hit of the game. And the Mets took a lot of batters to get there, and they finally get it. This was the time last game where the Mets ended up tying it up at 6 last night with a 5 spot in the inning. Here's the 0-1. About to play the fastball 1-1. And 3 of those 5 runs in the inning last night in the 5th were from the man who's batting tonight, a 3-run home run from Nimmo. Boyd has only 1 hit, no runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts tonight. Here's the 1-1. Inside corner, that's a strike. 1-2 now on Nimmo. A lot of strike calls from DJ Rayburn. Number will take his timeout. 63 pitches in the game for Boyd at this point in time. No outs here in the top of the fifth inning. One, two. That's a slider low. 2-2 now. Seems like a lot of these Mets base runners are barely getting leads over at first base because of the threat for a pickoff. You also need runs too. So here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Good changer from Boyd. That's a strikeout. They'll get a third strikeout of the game for Boyd tonight. That's that first out of the top half of this fifth inning. Good changeup. Ended up about belt high. Was started out above belt high and ended up around the belt. One out, that'll bring up Francisco Alvarez. He walked in his last plate appearance. He was the first Mets base runner to reach base in this game. First pitch from Boyd. There's a curveball, swing and a miss for strike one. Vientos has the first hit of the game for the Mets. 66 pitches now for Boyd. 0-1 count on Alvarez with one out here in the top of the fifth inning, and time is called. It's now 13 runs in the series for the Cubs. Mets have 9. All 9 were from the game last night. Here's the 0-1. Change up and away, 1-1 now. Remember, they were up 6-1 after the second inning against the Mets. We're up 7-6. Or they tied it at 7 at one point too, but they never retook that lead after the fifth inning. Here's the 1-1. Fly ball right out. That's out of play. 1-2 now on Alvarez. One ball and 2 strikes. The pitch. Fly ball right field. That's out of play. Still 1-2. The Red Sox did indeed beat the Blue Jays, and the White Sox are currently, or the Yankees are currently beating the White Sox 5-1 in that game. Here's the 1-2. That's on a slider, 2-2 now. So that AL East on track to be a tie at the top of the division. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The pitch. No, it's a pickoff attempt to first, and Vientos is back in time. Guardians on tap, 3-1 over Cleveland, or over Detroit. They're in the bottom of the 7th in that game. On the bottom of the 10th now in Cincinnati. Alvarez hits this ball a mile high and deep in the left field, and the shutout is gone. Another home run for Francisco Alvarez in this series, his second. He's driven in 4 via home runs. It's 6-2 Cubs now. 106.6 miles per hour on the exit field and a projected distance of 413 feet. That is not what you want to have happen. For the Cubs. Remember, it was a 5 spot in the 5th inning last night. So that's 7 runs for these Mets in the 5th inning against the Cubs. I think Jeff McNeil, who's 0-for-1 tonight with a fly out. First pitch slider well off the plate on low for ball 1. It's home run number 11 now in the season for Alvarez. One 0 slider swing and a miss, 1-1 now. Here's the 74th pitch of the game for Boyd. On to play with a fastball, 2-1 now. Check send into 2-1. Nice slider, swing and a miss, 2-2 now on McNeil. Boyd will come set. Here's the 2-2. Inside, and it hits McNeil on the elbow pad. That's a hit by a pitch. And snapping a good half inning of pitching for Matthew Boyd. Has only registered 1 out. He's given up 2 hits, a single home run in the inning, and now has hit a man. That hit McNeil on the elbow pad. Still hurts a bit, most likely. I'm bring up Tyrone Taylor, who's 0 for 1 with a fly out to right. Tommy Hodavy's talking with Boyd in the infield right now. Need to get an out here. In the last 10 starts for Matthew, he's 2-5. His ERA is at 5.34. His first 20 of the season, he was a 2.20. So, you take the first few months up to about the end of July, Cubs were looking like a potential World Series team, but now they barely look like a competitive playoff wildcard team. There's a first pitch change-up strike to Taylor. It's on 1. So it's been a really awful stretch. A lot of players, hot streaks have really died down and have never really gone back up to where they are. McNeil's leaning over there at first. Bunt pop-up. This is out of play. It's 0-2 now. By the way, Gavin Lux tied it up in the bottom of the 10th in that game with the Reds and Pirates on the sac fly. And a pickoff attempt to first. Back in time as McNeil, first in disengagement of the bat for Boyd. Matthew needs to just get out of this inning. No balls, 2 strikes on Taylor. Here's the pitch. Foul ball. McNeil was off with the pitch. Be a hit and run opportunity. No balls, 2 strikes. Cubs put up 3 runs in the 5th, or 5 runs in the 3rd, sorry. 1 run in the 4th. Made it 6-0, but a 2-run home run from Francisco Alvarez. It's made it 6-2, and the Mets are still trying to add on runs here in the inning. Trying to come back down 6 runs, or down 5 runs for the second time in as many games. Boyd will come set, 4 on the pitch clock. 0-2, another foul ball. Boyd's up to 80 pitches in the game now, so gotta imagine his outing's going to be done here soon, potentially after this inning. Lindor is on deck for the Mets, and Soto is in the hole. Soto's a lefty. This is the 25th pitch of the inning for Boyd. The 0-2, hard at a ground ball. No, it's a line drive, and it's caught by Swanson on the fly for the second out. It's a big second out. Now to bring up Lindor, who's 0 for 2 tonight. Chance here for Boyd to at least get out of the inning and with the win. Lindor's popped out in foul territory and grounded out tonight. First pitch Lindor, fastball on the outer third. That's a strike on 1. Wood will come set, and time is called by Lindor. Here's the 0-1. Pop fly, right field. Suzuki will camp under it and make the catch for the third down. But a 2-run home run for Francisco Alvarez cuts into this Cubs lead. We're halfway home here on Shy Sports Live. 6-2 Cubs in Chicago. Welcome back to Chicago. Bottom of the fifth inning here. Cubs on top 6-2. First pitch from Richard Lovelady. Moises Ballesteros has a strike at the knees. Still 3-3 in Cincinnati right now. A couple singles tonight for Ballesteros and an RBI. Check swing appeal to third. So he did not go. It's 1-1 now on Ballesteros. A 2-run home run from Francisco Alvarez in the top half of this fifth inning has made it a 4-run game. Just a 1-1. Late swing and a miss, 1-2 now. This is the third inning of work for Lovelady. Remember, he came in the third inning and had to get all 3 outs. And here's the 1-2. On to play with 2-2 now. And he's scheduled to face 2 righties after Ballesteros, so you wonder if Mendoza's going with the bullpen arm after Ballesteros after this at bat. Here's the 2-2. Low with a sinker full now. At least that's what I feel like is going to happen. So we'll see if that does happen. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Ballesteros to pitch. Low and away, that's ball 4. Leadoff walk, and we'll see if that is truly it for Lovelady. That is going to be a pitching change. Mendoza will come out. Lovelady will depart. We'll be back to this in Chicago. Cubs on top 6-2 and threatening on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back into Chicago. Clay Holmes is on the pitch for the Mets now, making his 32nd appearance of the season, a 3.69 ERA. So 158 and two-third innings pitched. I'd be like, wait a minute, hold on now. What reliever has thrown that many innings? Well, Clay has started a lot of games this year for the Mets. He's been better out of the bullpen. Seiya Suzuki will be the first man he faces. First pitch. Pop up, that's out of play for strike one. Suzuki 1 for 2 tonight, has a double and an RBI, and I was also grounded out tonight. So I have no update on the Reds game right now. As far as I know, they're still in the bottom of the 10th, tied at 3. 0-1, another pop up out of play, 0-2 now. The Reds, with the win tonight and the Mets loss, would reclaim that final wild card spot and push the Mets out of a playoff spot once again as we approach 4 games remaining on the season. The 0-2 is a chopper hit towards third. Vientos will only have a play at first, and he makes the play for the first out. Ballesteros will get into second easily. 1 out, that's going to bring up Carson Kelly 0 for 2 tonight. He's flown out and struck out in this game. Seventh run on board for the Cubs in scoring position. First pitch to Kelly. Sinker on the outer third, first strike on 1. Cubs have hit really well tonight with runners in scoring position. A lot better than the game last night where they really struggled after the second inning to drive in runs. They only drove in 1. Here's the 0-1 to Kelly. Ground ball hit up the middle. Lindor's going to make the play, fire to first in time for the second out. Ballesteros will head to third, so it's going to take a Pete Crow Armstrong to reach base for the Cubs to get that 7th run into this game. Pete 0 for 1 tonight. He's lined down and drove in a run on a sac fly. That was the 6th run of the. It was the 5th run of the game for the Cubs. There's a chopper pulled foul for strike 1. 6th run of the game for the Cubs was a Matt Shaw home run back in the bottom of the 4th inning. A 1 line drive, that's foul. 1-2 now. Holmes will come set. Here's the 0-2. Change up into there. A good eye from PCA. It's 1-2 now. That's what you'd like to see from Pete. Just having good eyes. That's what you like to see. Here's the 1-2. Ground ball hit towards third. Going to be a tough play for Vientos. So fire quickly. So gets away and into the Mets dugout. That's another throwing error for the Mets in this series. That's their 3rd error overall, and the Cubs will have a 7th run of the game. So, Ballesteros will score. So a good play there. By the way, the Mariners are on top, but the Rockies won up and they're in the bottom of the first. Remember, the Mariners need a win or an Astros loss. As Cal Raleigh hit his 59th home run of the season. All they need is a win or an Astros loss to clinch the AL West. There's a sweeper pulled against Swanson for ball 1. Swanson 0 for 2 tonight, a line of strikeouts. They're going to the 11th inning, by the way, in Cincinnati. Time is called. Holmes comes set. Pickoff attempt a second. PCA back in time. First disengagement of the at bat. 59 home runs in the season now for Cal Raleigh. Been a heck of a MVP caliber season for him. In my opinion, he should be the MVP. Here is the 1-0 from Holmes. That's spiked in the dirt and gets back to the backstop. This is going to be a wild pitch. And Pete Crow, nobody's covering home. Pete Crow Armstrong comes and he'll score. What a disaster for the Mets. Wow. It's 8-2 Cubs. Caught him sleeping. Wow. So it's a wild pitch, and Holmes was not even paying attention. And the throw was not caught by Holmes. That is a mental mistake, and the Mets are not playing like a playoff team right now. Excellent base running from Pete, who, even if Holmes caught the ball, was going to be safe because he got underneath the tag. Here's a 2-0 to Swanson, swinging a miss, 2-1 now. What a heck of a play for PCA, and the Cubs back up where they left off in the top half of the fifth inning. They're up 6 now, 8-2. Hard ground ball pulled foul. 2-2 now. But excellent base running and excellent work by the Cubs offense. And by the way, the Pirates got another ghost runner to score. It's 4-3 Pittsburgh up in the top of the 11th. Ground ball hit up the middle. They're going to be a tough play for McNeil. Fires the first in time for the third out. But the Cubs had a pair. Went to the 6th in Chicago. It's 8-2 Cubs on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back here to Chicago, top of the 6th inning here. Cubs on top, 8-2, added 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning. First, a throwing error by Mark Vientos allowed 1 run to score. The throw went into the Mets dugout, so Pete Armstrong had to go to second. And a wild pitch, a couple pitches later, and Pete caught Clay Holmes sleeping, was not covering the plate, and he scored the 8th run of the game tonight for the Cubs. First pitch to Juan Soto's a strike, 0-1. It's Matthew Boyd on for his 6th inning of work. Trying to get that quality start. He's 3 outs away from that. And here's the 0-1. There's a ground ball pulled foul. It's 0-2 now. Cubs tonight have 8 runs on 8 hits. The Mets have 2 runs on 2 hits. They also have an error. It's 5-1 Guardians, by the way, in the top of the 9th inning against the Tigers. They're on track to win and go up. It's technically 1 game up in the standings, but it's 2 games up overall because of the tiebreaker. Here's the 0-2. Check swing flare to first base, and that's going to be caught by Michael Busch for the first out. I'm going to bring up Pete Alonso, who's 0 for 2 tonight. Struck out and grounded out. Soto, by the way, he was shaking his left hand after the previous foul ball. So Matthew Boyd, by the way, is going to be coming out of this game. His final start of this season. He will depart, so will we. We'll come back into this. Cubs on tap A2 and the top of the 6th on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back to Shy Sports Live, top of the 6th inning, 1 out of Chicago. Daniel Palencia getting his first action since his arm issue. Remember, a couple weeks ago, we broadcasted them against the Cubs against the Nationals. He hurt his arm. Made his first appearance since that. There's a foul ball. It's 1-1 now. Matthew Boyd had a really good line tonight. 5 1/3, gave 2 hits, 2 runs, both were earned. Walked 1, struck out 3 through 86 pitches tonight. Just a 1-1 from Palencia. 100, that's fouled off 1 and 2 now. Cubs needed exactly what Boyd did tonight, just eat up outs. He did it successfully. Cubs at this point are only going to need 11 outs from their bullpen. 1-2, another foul ball. Of course, last night, once Horton came out of the game, the Mets really went on fire, especially in the last few at-bats against Soroka. Here's the 1-2. Line drive center field. PCA goes back a bit, but he'll make the catch for the second out of this inning. So 2 gone in this top half of the 6th inning. Now to bring out Starling Marte 0 for 2 tonight. That was a fastball, let her high. As Marte's grounded out and flown out to left field in this game. Heading to the bottom of the 11th in Cincinnati, it's 4-3 Pirates in that game. Here's the pitch to Marte. Fastball misses high for ball 1. Red Sox beat the Blue Jays 7-1 tonight. Yankees beat the White Sox 8-1. So the Blue Jays and White Sox, or the Blue Jays and Yankees are tied for the division. The Mariners are up 3-0 over the Rockies. They're in the bottom of the second in that game. Marte absolutely crushes this one, but it's going to be foul. It's 1-1 now. So, and the Astros and Athletics first pitch is about to get started here in the next minute or so. But the Mariners will clinch the AL West with a win or an Astros loss. There's a nice tight slider from Palencia, swings and miss. It's 1-2 now on Marte. One, two. That's all the way 2-2 now. But if the Pirates do lose, or the Reds do lose, this loss for New York really doesn't matter too much. Still keeps in that game ahead of Reds. There's a nice tight slider and a swing and a miss, strike 3. But to the bottom of the 6th in Chicago, the Cubs on top, 8-2. We'll be back to this on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back to Chicago. Sean Manaea is on the pitch now for the Mets, making his 14th appearance of the season. A lot of starts, 5.59 ERA, just trying to eat outs here against the Cubs. First pitch to Matt Shaw's a strike. Matt's 2 for 2 tonight, has a single and a home run on the game. There's the 0-1. Shaw lines it to left field. That'll drop in front of Nimmo. That's a 3-hit night tonight for Mr. Shaw. I'll bring up Michael Busch now, who's 1 for 2. For the Mets, they are now since June 12th. Starters are have a 5.22 ERA, that's 26 in the league. And the bullpen has a 4.66 ERA, that's 26 in the league as well. First pitch to Busch is a ball. Shaw steals second successfully. Cubs are trying to pick up another run here and playing really aggressive at that. So it's 1-0 on Busch. as we are approaching the 2-hour mark of tonight's ball game. One-zero. That's a fastball to knees for a strike. 1-1 now. Here's the 1-1. High fly ball hit well to right field. Soto goes back. He looks up. This ball is gone in the first row. And the Cubs are up 10-2. It's a solo shot for Bush. His 31st of the season. 98.7 on the exit velo. 376 feet on the projected distance. And the Cubs have scored all of their runs from the 3rd through the 6th inning. That'll give them their 10th hit of the game. They have 10 runs on 10 hits. And what a game it's been for Chicago tonight. The wind would push them ever so closer to clinching that top wild card spot. First pitch to Horner misses up for ball 1. Horner's 1 for 2 tonight. A walk, a single, and a ground out. Here's the 1-0. High pop fly behind second base. McNeil will call everyone off for it and will make the catch for the first out. A big home run for Michael Bush. Just got out of here. The wind was trying to blow it back onto the field, but a nice lady out in the right field. First row seats got the ball. And the Cubs went up 10-2. First pitch, Ian Happ is a fastball for a strike. Ian tonight 1 for 3, a strikeout, a double on the run, double drove in a couple, and it was a ground out. There's a swing and a miss and a changeup. It's 0-2 now on Happ. Oh, 2, that's a changeup in the dirt. 1-2 now. $78 RBIs in the season now for Happ. 23 home runs. Here's the 1-2. Ground ball hit towards second. Lindor will grab it. He'll fire on the first in time for the second out. 31 home runs for Bush now. Still the only Cub with 30 home runs in the season. But he has 15 go-ahead home runs, and that's most by a Cub since 2014, and that was by Anthony Rizzo. Here's Moses Ballesteros, 2 for 2 tonight. He's had a good game. First pitch from Minaya. Fastball to knees for a strike, 0-1. Couple singles for Ballesteros and a walk tonight. He also has driven in a run. Here's the 0-1. That's over the fastball, 1-1 now. Average for Ballesteros up to 292 now. Again, it's limited at bats, but he's had a pretty good start to his career. There's a late swing and a miss, 1-2 now on Ballesteros. Here is the 1-2. Just stopped to play with a four-seamer, 2-2 now. There's a late swing and a miss, strike 3. But the Cubs add 2 more. A 2-run shot for Michael Bush. It's 10-2 Chicago. Well to the top of the 7th here on Chi Sports Live. Welcome back here to the top of the 7th inning. Aaron Civale is on the pitch for the Chicago Cubs. Fires in a first pitch strike for strike one. By the way, the Pirates did indeed beat the Reds in 11 innings. So the Mets, even with this loss, will not lose any. Not have to worry about losing their slim wild card lead. Here's the 1-1. Check swing. There is no appeal. It's 2-1 now on Vientos. And the Mets down to their final 9 outs tonight. Here's the 2-1. So fly ball to play, 2-2 now. But the Cubs trying to win their 89th game of the season and push themselves ever so closely to winning that premium wildcard position. And Vientos swings and misses for strike 3, and that's the first out of this top half of the 7th inning. So a good start for Civale out of the pen. I'm going to Brandon Nimmo. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded out and struck out swinging. 23rd appearance of the season for Civale. Spent most of the season as a starter with the White Sox and Brewers. 4.91 ERA, 99 innings pitched. First pitch to Nimmo is a strike at the knees. He'll hit the 100 inning mark if he's able to get 2 more outs tonight in this game. And Nimmo's going to call for time. Cubs have 10 runs on 10 hits. Mets have 2 runs on 2 hits. Mets also have an error, which contributed to that 2-run fifth. Here's the 0-1. Line drive right field. That's going to fall in front of Suzuki, and that's going to be a base hit for Nimmo. It's their 3rd hit of the game. Now to bring up Francisco Alvarez, 1 for 1, and his 2nd home run of the series earlier in this game, back in the top of the 5th inning. Made it 6-2 at the time. 31-degree launch angle. Had an apex of 114 feet and a 413 feet distance. Absolutely no doubt he's in a position here to try and do it again. Civale will come set. The pitch. It's a cutter out to play for ball 1. Alvarez 1 for 1 tonight. 2-run shot and a walk. Average up to 261 now in the season. Civale will come set. Here's the 1-0. Curveball right there. It's strike. 1-1 now on Alvarez. Civale will come set. The 1-1. Late swing and a miss on a cutter. 1-2 now on Alvarez. One of Craig's and let Civale try and eat up these final 9 outs. Save some arms for the finale against the Mets tomorrow. Here's the 1-2. All away with the curveball. 2-2 now. By the way, that game for Chicago tomorrow is going to be a 6:40 p.m. time frame. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Alvarez. Civale will come set. The pitch. Foul tipped into the glove. Strike 3. That's out number 2. Back-to-back punch-outs for Civale out of the pen after giving up a leadoff single. I'm bring up Jeff McNeil, who's 0 for 1 tonight, and has a flyout and has been hit by a pitch. Civale will come set. First pitch. Cutter or fastball catches the outside corner for a strike. 0-1 on McNeil. McNeil's hitting .248 on the season, 12 home runs, 53 RBIs tonight, or this season. Here's the 0-1. Line drive right field. Playable for Suzuki, who makes the catch. Just out number 3. Stretch time in Chicago. We'll be back into this. It's 10-2 Cubs on Chi Sports Live. Welcome back here to Chicago, bottom of the seventh in Wrigley Field. The Cubs on top 10-2 over the Mets. Game 2 of this three-game set. This wild card begins in 6 nights. Tuesday next week, that's when MLB playoffs and wild cards begin. Remember, Cubs will have. There's a first pitch. Suzuki missing on the way. Cubs will get the Padres, whether or not it's going to be in San Diego or in Chicago. That's the key. It's a 1-0 count. Here's the pitch. Suzuki chops this one to third. Vientos charges, fires the first in time for the first out. Ryan Helsley is on the pitch now for the Mets. 1 out, now to bring up Carson Kelly. He's hitless tonight. He's 0 for 3. Has a fly out to center, a strikeout, and a ground out tonight. So the Cubs and Carson Kelly trying to get his first hit of the game. Cubs have 10 hits tonight. Mets only have 3. So there's a first pitch fastball fouled off from Kelly. Strike 1. First time the Cubs are making the playoffs since their 2020 COVID season. Helsley will come set. 0-1. Foul ball back to the screen, 0-2 now. So it's going to be the first time since 2018 where the Cubs have had playoffs in front of fans overall, but what will hopefully be in front of Chicago fans. It's 0-2 now in Kelly. The 0-2. Curveball, perfect pitch, call strike 3. Kelly goes down looking, and that's the second out of the bottom half of this inning. All right, Pete Armstrong 0 for 2 tonight. He's lined out, drove in a run on a sac fly, and then grounded out, but reached on an error. So the Cubs well on their way to go back 20 games above 500. They're 2 wins away from a 90-win season. There's a first pitch slider swing and a miss. By the way, the Mariners are on top 5-0 over the Rockies in the bottom of the third. They're well on their way to clinching that AL West. The Astros and Athletics, they're scoreless in the top half of that second inning in that game. Here's the 0-1. Fastball's low and away, 1-1 now. And the Brewers beat the Padres, so that magic number for The top wild card spot has already gone down once, and it can go down a second time. The Cubs are able to hang on in these final 6 outs against the Mets. Jose will come set, the 1-1. Foul back to the screen by Pete. It's 1-2 now in PCA. And again, Pittsburgh beat Cincinnati in 11 innings, 4-3. So the Reds cannot get that final wild card spot anymore. The Diamondbacks are tied with the Dodgers. Diamondbacks are trying to rally back and late in that playoff spot. Here's a ground ball hit towards third. Viento's going to charge fire on the run, and it's an offline throw. They had to tag Pete. We'll see if the Cubs take a gander at it, take a look at the challenge. I think they will. He was out. Pete also didn't touch the bag anyways. Well, today here in Chicago, it's 10-2 Cubs on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back into Chicago. Top of the 8th inning. Tyrone Taylor will lead it off for the Mets. 0-for-2 tonight. Flying on the line out. Aaron Civale still in for his second inning of work. Reese McGuire is now into the game for the Cubs, catching as Carson Kelly's night is over with. But the Mets, for the moment, will still have a final wildcard spot. First pitch to Taylor by Civale misses high for ball 1. The Mets are down 8 runs, need 9 to take the lead, and they only have 6 outs to work with. Here's the 1-0. It's a high pop fly. In the infield, Shaw will call for it. On the mound, makes the catch for the first out. So, it's a good start to this top half of the 8th inning. And we have Francisco Lindor, who's 0-for-3 tonight. A foul pop out, a ground out, and a fly out. Cubs pitching has done a really good job tonight against the Mets, especially the bullpen compared to the disaster from last night. Here's the first pitch from Civale to Lindor. Cutter just off the plate for ball 1. Lindor a home run shy of a 30 season. Here's the 1-0. Curveball on the outside corner out to strike, 1-1. 1 home run shy of 30 home runs. I'm not sure if he has any enough stolen bases to qualify. Civale will ask for a new baseball. Again, the Cubs a game on top of the Padres, but that'll go up to 2 games, assuming the Cubs are able to hang on. Here's the 1-1 popped up right side. Bush will not have a play on this one. This one will get out of play. It's 1-2 now, Lindor. So the magic number, or at the 2-game lead with 4 games to play, that means Cubs win and a Padres loss would clinch the Cubs a top wildcard spot. Here is the 1-2 from Savali. Curve of the dirt, good block from McGuire. 2-2 now. But regardless, if the Padres continue to lose games, then it's going to be Cubs' destiny. Here is the 2-2 from Savali. I'll have to play with a 4-seamer. It's full now on Lindor. A lot of good college football games coming up this weekend. Number 17 Alabama against number 5 Georgia. Nightcap game. 3-2 high, pop fly. Right field, Suzuki will come in and he will make the catch for the second out, and the Mets are down to their final 4 outs in the game tonight. As usual, we will stick around after this final out to go over the scoreboard, and there are big scores for around the league besides the West Coast games tonight. Every other game is final. Here's the first pitch to Soto. Curveball catches the top of the zone for a strike. Soto 0 for 3 tonight, a ground out and a couple pop outs in this game. And overall tonight, the Lindor, Soto, Alonso, the 1-2-3 hitters are 0 for 10 tonight. There's a foul ball. It's 0-2 now on Soto. That's not a recipe for success. And really, it could be a shutout. If Alvarez did not hit that home run, it would be 10-0. So the Mets are lucky to even have a couple runs in this game. Here's the 0-2 from Savali. High fly ball, hit well to center field, left center field. Now this ball is going to leave the yard. Juan Soto hits a solo home run, and the Mets are within 7 now. The 43rd home run of the year for Soto. 105.1 on the exit velo and 397 feet on the distance with a launch angle of 30 degrees. So it's now 10-3 Chicago. Still 7-run lead as that'll get the Mets their 4th hit of the game tonight. All 3 runs tonight have been via the home run ball for New York. Just like most of their games last night, or most of their hits last night, and runs were home runs. Were from the home run ball. Here's Alonso. First pitch to him is a cutter at the top of the zone for a strike. So the 1-2-3 hitters now for the Mets only have 1 hit, and it's a Juan Soto home run. Here's the 0-1. Curve on the outside corner. That's a strike. 0-2 now on Alonso. Alonso for 3 tonight. He's struck out, grounded out, and flown out tonight. Savali's going to ask for another baseball. Once again, the Mets down to their final 4 outs tonight. 0-2, Chapper pulled foul. Alonso hitting .272 on the season. Here's the 0-2. Well, I'll have to play with the cutter. 1-2 now on Alonso. Here's a check, set, and the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Alonso goes on and strikes. Mets do have a run on a Juan Soto home run. My gosh, Mets had a run on a home run from Juan Soto. What's at the bottom of 8th in Chicago? 10-3 Cubs on Shy Sports Live. Man. We're going to keep it here for the MLB scoreboard. For the score update. So, out in Anaheim, the Angels are on top of the Royals 3-0. The Mariners on top of the Rockies. Rockies just got a run. It's 5-1 in that game. Cardinals and Giants tied at 2. In the top of the 4th of that game. D-backs and Dodgers are through 3 innings, tied at 1. Astros and Athletics are in the top of the 3rd, scoreless. The Nationals beat the Braves tonight 4-3. The Brewers beat the Padres 3-1 tonight. The Rays beat the Orioles 6-2. The Guardians beat the Tigers 5-1. And we talked about this quite a bit. The Pirates beat the Reds 4-3 in that game. The Phillies beat the Marlins 11-1 in that game. The Yankees beat the White Sox 8-1, and because of the loss by the Blue Jays to the Red Sox 7-1, the Yankees and Blue Jays are tied at top of the division. The Blue Jays do have the tiebreaker, so the Yankees still need a win and a Blue Jays loss to clinch that division. And the Rangers beat the Twins 4-2 in that game. So it's been a lot of good games. We'll be back in a few seconds for the bottom of 8th in Chicago. Welcome back here to Chicago. First pitch to Dansby Swanson for Ryan Helsley is a slider and swinging a miss for strike 1. Mets down to their final 3 outs tonight. As Swanson 0 for 3 tonight, he lined out, struck out, and grounded out. Helsley will come set. Here's the 0-1. So it's 1-1 now. Still need 3 more outs to clinch the 89th win of the season for the Cubs. Helsley will come set. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Good slider. It's 1-2 now on Swanson. Be the 13th pitch of the game for Helsley out of the pen. 1-2. Jam shot up the middle. That's a base hit for Swanson. His first hit of the game. That's the 11th hit of the game overall for the Cubs. It's a leadoff single. That'll bring up a 3 for 3 guy, Matt Shaw. A couple singles and a home run in the left center field in this game. Chance for a 4-hit night tonight. Helsley will come set. And the pitch. Slider misses high for ball 1. Just a 1-0. The slider knees. That's a strike 1-1 now on Shaw. Two singles for Shaw tonight and a home run. Also has a stolen base tonight. His average is up to 230 now. It started at 224. It's gone up 6 points. The 1-0, that's another good block from Alvarez. It's 2-1 now. And time is called Mosley came set before engaging with Shaw. Comes set. It's 2-1 on Matt. The pitch. High fly ball left field down the line. It's going to be foul. It's 2-2 now on Shaw. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 10-3 Cubs. You can, by the way, vote for your Roberto Clemente Award at MLB.com, MLBtogether.com/Clemente Award. As Kyle Tucker has been nominated for the Cubs. Every team gets one nomination that you can vote for. Lindor is the Mets nominee. The White Sox, Mike Tauchman is the nominee there. So time to vote for the Roberto Clemente Award there. Here's a 2-2. Called strike 3 at the top of the zone. Shaw goes down on strikes, and that's the first out of the inning and the first time Shaw's been out tonight. Michael Busch now 2 for 3 tonight. Has a double, a walk, a lineout, and a home run to right field. I think that was a little high on the called strike to Shaw, but it's a 7-run game. No need to squeeze pitchers at this point. There's a slider low and away to Busch. It's 1-0 now. Busch's average is up to 257 now. Here's the 1-0. High pop fly, left field. Coming in is Nimmo. He will make the catch for the second out. So 2 gone in the inning, and that is going to bring up Nico Hoerner. By the way, it is 3-1 Dodgers out there. The Diamondbacks, they're also a game behind the Mets. And the tiebreaker, the Diamondbacks hold the tiebreaker over the Mets. The Reds hold both tiebreakers over both of the Mets and Diamondbacks. There's a strike to Hoerner. But if the Diamondbacks are able to come back and win, the Diamondbacks will now hold sole possession over that final wildcard spot. Hoerner will take his traditional timeout with first pitch strike. There's still plenty of baseball to go. If the Mets lose tomorrow night, too, I mean, that's going to be very scary for New York fans. So they're trying to watch their team limp to the playoffs. Here's the 0-1. That's thrown away. It's 1-1 now. Don't get me wrong. The offense for New York is very deadly. It's the pitching staff that is not good for the Mets. And that is where Mendoza is going to have to make smart decisions in the playoffs should the Mets indeed clinch a spot. Here's a 1-1. There's a slider right down the middle and the strike. 1-2 now on Hoerner. That homer was from Andy Pages for the Dodgers. 1-2 to Hoerner. Ground ball hit towards Lindor. He's just going to flip on the second for the third down. Mets are 3 outs away. They'll have Marte, Vientos, and Nimmo due up. What's tonight in Chicago? It's 10-3 Cubs on Shy Sports Live. Welcome back here to Chicago. Cubs are 3 outs away from winning their 89th game of the season, forcing a rubber match in the game tomorrow night. Aaron Civale on for his third inning of work and trying to get the 3-inning save. There's a swing and a miss on Marte to start off the top of the 9th inning for strike one. Here's the 0-1. That's on the way 1-1 now. Here's the 1-1. Ground ball hit towards third. Shaw will grab it. He'll fire on the run, and that's out number one. And the Mets are down to their final 2 outs tonight. So 1 gone. Mark Vientos, 1 for 3 tonight. He struck out twice and singled to left. He was the first hit of the game for the Mets. That was back in the 5th inning. First pitch to Vientos is a foul ball for strike one. Here's the 0-1 from Civale. Ground ball hit up the middle. Backhanded by Horner. He turns and fires the first, and that's 2 outs, and the Mets are down to their final out in tonight's ball game. So after the final out, we will wrap it up. The post-game show. We will not be playing the song on live TV, but on the live audio broadcast. But you know the lyrics. You can sing it at home. Here's the first pitch. Nimmo, that's a fastball up and away for ball one. Nimmo 1 for 3 tonight. Here's the Mets' final chance to extend this game as a ground-out strikeout and a single. Here is the 1-0. Backdoor curveball at the plate, 2-0 now. Two balls, no strikes. Here's the 2-0. Curveball in the outer third. That's a strike, 2-1 now. And Nimmo, Mets down to their final 2 strikes tonight. 2-1, swing and a miss at the cutter, shoulder high. It's 2-2. Mets on their final strike tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nimmo's going to wait a minute and take a timeout. But 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 9th. The pitch. Ground ball, hit towards third. Shaw will grab it, fire the first in time, and that'll do it for tonight's ball game. The Cubs beat the Mets 10-3. We'll wrap it up with stats and the final scoreline after this. Cubs win it 10-3. We'll be back on Tri Sports Live. Welcome back to Chicago Chi Sports Live. The Cubs defeat the Mets 10-3 and win Game 2 of this 3-game set, forcing a key rubber match tomorrow night that will not be broadcasted on Chi Sports Live. But regardless, Cubs win their 89th game of the season, and the Mets lose their 77th of the season. They're only 4 games above 500. Let's go over some stats. First with the scoring by inning. No runs were scored on the first 2 innings, but then a 5 spot in the third off of Jonah Tong. Cubs went out on top 5-0, and another run was added in the fourth, so 6-0. Mets got 2 of their 3 runs via a 2-run shot from Francisco Alvarez. Second home run of the series, made it 6-2 at the time, but the Cubs added another 2 in that bottom half of the 5th inning, made it 8-2. Then they added another pair in the 6th inning, made it 10-2 at that time. The Mets did get a run in the top of the 8th inning via Juan Soto home run, made it 10-3 at the time. But the final score stats: 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Mets. 10 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Cubs. We'll do some batting stats. First for the Mets, Francisco Lindor went 0-4 tonight. Juan Soto went 1-4 tonight with that home run. Pete Alonso went 0-4 tonight with 2 strikeouts. Starling Marte went 0-4 tonight with a strikeout. Mark Vientos went 1-4 tonight with a run scored and a pair of strikeouts. Brandon Nimble 1-4 tonight with a strikeout. Francisco Alvarez went 1-2 tonight, a run scored, 2 RBIs and a 2-run home run, walked 1, struck out once. Jeff McNeil went 0-2 tonight, and Tyrone Taylor went 0-3 tonight. For a total of 31 at-bats, 3 runs, 4 hits, 3 RBIs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Home runs from Alvarez and Soto. Total bases, Alvarez had 4, Vientos and Nimmo had 1, and Soto had 4. Hit by pitch went to McNeil, and the Mets left 3 men on base. For the Cubs now, Michael Busch went 2-4 tonight, drove in a pair, had a 2-run home run, scored twice, walked once, also had a double. Nico Horner went 1-4 tonight with a run scored and an RBI. Ian Happ went 1-4 tonight with a run scored and 2 RBIs and a strikeout. Moises Ballesteros went 2-3 tonight, 2 runs, an RBI, a walk, and a strikeout. Seiya Suzuki went 1-4 tonight with an RBI. Carson Kelly went 0-4 tonight with 2 strikeouts. Reese McGuire came in defensively for him. Pete Armstrong went 0-3 tonight, scored a run and drove in a run on a sac fly. Dansby Swanson went 1-4 tonight with a strikeout, and Matt Shaw went 3-4 tonight, 3 runs, an RBI, and a strikeout. For a total of 34 at-bats, 10 runs, 11 hits, 8 RBIs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. Doubles by Suzuki, Happ, and Busch. Home runs from Sean Busch. Total bases, Swanson and Horner each had 1. Suzuki had 2. Shaw had 6. Happ had 2. Ballesteros had 2. Busch had 6. Sac fly by PCA. Stolen bases from Matt Shaw, and the Cubs left 4 men on base. Now for the pitching side, Jonah Tong got the loss. Pitched 2 innings, gave 7 hits, 5 runs. All 5 runs were earned. Walked 2, struck out 1, gave no home runs. Richard Lovelady came in for 2 innings, gave a hit, 2 runs. 1 was earned, walked 1, struck out 2, gave up a home run. Clay Holmes came in for an inning, gave up a run. Sean Manaea came in for an inning, gave 2 hits, 2 runs. Both runs were earned, struck out 1, gave up a home run. And Ryan Helsley came in for the last 2 innings of defense, gave up a hit, struck out 2. For a total of 8 innings pitched, 11 hits, 10 runs, 8 earned runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, 2 home runs given up by the Mets. Matty Boyd for the Cubs got the win tonight. Pitched 5 1/3, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs. Both runs were earned, walked 1, struck out 3. Gave up 1 home run. Daniel Palencia, his first outing since the arm injury back against the Nationals a couple weeks ago. Pitched 2/3 of an inning, got a strikeout. And then Aaron Savali got the 3-inning save. Pitched 3 innings, gave 2 hits, 1 run. That run was earned, struck out 3, and gave up the home run. For a total of 9 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 runs. All 3 runs were earned, walked 1, struck out 7, and gave 2 home runs. And with that being said, that is going to do it for tonight's broadcast of the Cubs and Mets. Once again, we will not be broadcasting the series finale tomorrow night. But overall, it's been a good season, and the Cubs have won their 89th game. But with that being said, Cubs win at 10-3. Thank you all for listening and tuning into the broadcast. Hopefully we can continue doing these deep into MLB postseason. But regardless, thank you all for listening for a final time. The Cubs win at 10-3. This has been a presentation of Shy Sports Live.